John Deere, the name that's been a part of American farming for generations, is suddenly finding itself in the spotlight. But not in a good way. The company's recent decisions to tackle some tough challenges have really stirred up the farming community. People who rely on their equipment every day are starting to question the company's priorities, and it's causing quite a stir. So, what does all this mean for us, for farmers, and for the future of agriculture? And what exactly did John Deere do to land in this mess? Could this be the beginning of a whole new chapter for the company? John Deere's got folks in the farming world all riled up with their latest move, shifting production to Mexico. They're taking a big chunk of their manufacturing, including those handy skid steers and compact track loaders, from good old Dubuque, Iowa, and plopping it down in Ramos Arizpe, Mexico. This isn't their first rodeo either. In 2022, they packed up tractor cab production and headed south due to labor woes. And now, they're doubling down, planning to move even more production by 2026. It's a bold play, but it's definitely got people talking. John Deere pulled in a massive $10.2 billion in profits last year, but now they're back at it with more layoffs, on top of the ones earlier this year. And get this, CEO John May walked away with a jaw-dropping $26.7 million in compensation. Talk about bad optics, right? The company's reasoning? They're battling a tough economy. Sales have plunged 20% from 2023 to 2024. Farm incomes are shrinking. Commodity prices are dropping. Interest rates are climbing, and unpredictable weather isn't helping. To them, cutting jobs is just necessary. But for the workers left behind, it feels like the writing's on the wall. Record profits and fat executive bonuses seem to take priority. John Deere says it's backing U.S. manufacturing with a hefty $2 billion investment in American factories since 2019. Impressive number, sure, but it doesn't take the sting out of those layoffs. Cutting jobs during a time of record profits feels like a slap in the face, and it's no surprise that moves like this can wreck employee trust and fuel public anger over inequality and sky-high executive pay. John Deere finds itself in the crossfire, caught between soaring profits, workforce reductions, and escalating political tensions. Now, throw in Trump's tariff threats, and things could get even messier. If those tariffs hit, John Deere's profits could take a serious hit, supply chains might unravel, and staying competitive globally could turn into an uphill battle. It's the kind of situation that forces big questions. How should companies treat their workers when times are tough? And do tariffs solve problems or just create more? The big reason behind John Deere's relocation: a jaw-dropping wage gap between the US and Mexico. In the US, production managers rake in over $56 an hour, but in Mexico, it's a mere $4.50 an hour. That's a massive difference. And it's driving John Deere to shift gears, slashing manufacturing costs and chasing bigger profit margins. But while this move might look good on the company's balance sheet, it's raising alarms for American workers. Communities built around these jobs are worried about losing their livelihoods, sparking real concerns about job security and economic fallout. The fallout from this decision has been nothing short of brutal. Since September 2023, John Deere has axed over 2,888 jobs across Iowa and Illinois, with a staggering 2,100 workers let go just to gear up for this shift. And 2024 hasn't been any kinder. The layoffs have hit production staff hard and sent shockwaves through the local economies that rely on these jobs to stay afloat. The ripple effects? Absolutely crushing for these communities. And that's not all. John Deere has rolled out controversial software locks on its machinery, blocking farmers from making their own repairs. Now, they're forced to go through authorized dealers for maintenance, stripping them of the independence they've relied on for decades. This shift has fundamentally altered the farmer equipment relationship, turning what used to be a partnership into something that feels more like a one-sided deal. Why would they do this? Simple. Money talks. John Deere's parts and services division pulls in 3 to 6 times more profit than selling the actual equipment. So while farmers are stuck with sky-high repair bills, John Deere's profits just keep soaring. Critics are fuming because by locking down the software on their new equipment, John Deere has pretty much cornered the market on repair services. This forces farmers to cough up huge amounts for dealer prices. It's a real blow to their independence and raises some serious ethical questions. Why does it feel like profits come before customer service and fairness? The fallout from these changes is brutal. Farmers are now stuck with insane repair costs, and on top of that, they have to deal with frustrating delays in finding qualified technicians. These delays can be game changers, especially when the farming season is at its peak. One farmer shared how he lost 2.5 full days of work just waiting for a dealer to fix a computer glitch. It's a glaring example of how the tech-heavy farming world is becoming harder to navigate without help, and it's leaving farmers scrambling. As tech continues to take over farming, many farmers are getting more and more anxious about relying on systems they can't control or fix themselves. With farming always being a hands-on job, this shift feels like a big step away from the independence that farmers have always had. Take tractors, for example. What used to be a simple mechanical machine is now a high-tech powerhouse run by complex software. Farmers are understandably worried that they'll lose their ability to repair their own equipment without needing outside help. And it's not just about the tools. The ripple effects are huge. John Deere's move to shift part of its manufacturing to Mexico has sparked a serious political storm, and the fallout is impossible to ignore. At a recent roundtable in Pennsylvania, Trump slammed John Deere, accusing the company of betraying American farmers and the manufacturing industry by shifting jobs to Mexico. This isn't just talk, it's part of his America First agenda, which is all about protecting US jobs and industries from outsourcing. Trump's warning: if John Deere moves forward with its plans, it could face major financial repercussions that could hurt its standing in the US market. John Deere, however, isn't backing down. The company acknowledged the threat, but insists their decisions are driven by economic necessity, not politics. They also pointed out that they're still committed to US manufacturing, with 30,000 workers spread across 60 facilities in the country. Experts are warning that implementing drastic measures, like tariffs, could backfire, especially for American farmers who rely on reasonably priced equipment. If these tariffs go through, they could end up hurting the very farmers they're meant to help. Adding to the tension, Senator Elizabeth Warren has been vocal about John Deere's lack of support for the right-to-repair movement. She argues that the company's practices are making it harder for farmers to fix their own machines, even raising concerns that John Deere might be violating the Clean Air Act by blocking repairs to emission systems. This has struck a chord with many farmers who feel trapped by big corporations like John Deere. Many farmers believe the company cares more about its bottom line than actually serving its customers or supporting the communities that depend on its equipment. Warren's criticism resonates strongly in rural areas, where the right to repair is crucial for maintaining independence. By withholding vital repair information and tools, John Deere is accused of creating a system where fixing machinery is not only expensive, but also time-consuming. This adds even more strain to already tight farming budgets, leaving many farmers struggling to keep their equipment running without breaking the bank. The debate over Trump's tariff threat is heating up, and it's sparking some pretty passionate opinions on both sides. Supporters of the tariffs think they're a smart way to protect American jobs and keep companies like John Deere focused on domestic production. They see it as a necessary step to fight outsourcing, which they believe is hurting workers in the manufacturing industry. But not everyone's on board. Critics like billionaire Mark Cuban are sounding the alarm, warning that these tariffs could backfire and hurt American businesses and consumers. Cuban has called the strategy insane, arguing that higher tariffs could make it easier for foreign competitors to steal market share from companies like John Deere. Plus, he points out that it could lead to higher prices for consumers without solving the bigger problems American manufacturing faces. John Deere's policies are having a massive financial impact, and it's hitting farmers hard. These guys are already scraping by on razor-thin margins, and with skyrocketing equipment prices and insane repair fees, the weight is getting unbearable. The US Department of Agriculture even predicts that farm income could take a huge 25% hit this year, thanks to soaring costs and a lack of affordable repair options. This isn't just a problem for farmers, it's a threat to the entire rural economy. As these costs keep climbing, Small farms are finding it tougher than ever to stay afloat, pushing them closer to the edge of extinction. If this continues, we could see even more farms go under, shrinking the diversity of our food supply and leaving fewer hands to feed the nation. John Deere's recent moves have got people talking, and it's clear that this is far from over. From job cuts to skyrocketing repair costs, the farming world is feeling the heat, and there are some serious questions about what comes next. Will this shakeup be the start of something new for the company, or are they just digging themselves into a deeper hole? What do you think? Are they just trying to survive in a tough economy, or have they crossed the line? Drop a comment below, and let's get the conversation rolling. If this video got you thinking, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the latest updates. Like and share with anyone who might be impacted by these changes. Appreciate you watching. Catch you in the next one.